Picture a country so small you could drive across it in an afternoon. 10 little islands in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. 500,000 people, that's it. Fewer people than a mid-sized city. That country just walked onto the biggest stage in sports and refused to lose. This is the story of Cape Verde, and what they just did at the World Cup has people all over the world rubbing their eyes. Okay, let me put this in perspective for you. The World Cup has the best 32 nations on the planet. Giants. Countries with millions of players, billion-dollar leagues, decades of history. And then there's Cape Verde, a nation that didn't even exist as an independent country until 1975. Ranked 69th in the world. The second smallest country by land area to ever qualify for anything like this. Their own coach put it perfectly. He said, "We're a small country, but it's only small on the map." And just qualifying was already a miracle. To get here, this tiny island nation had to finish above Cameroon, a 5-time World Cup team, African royalty. Nobody saw it coming, but qualifying was just the beginning. Their first ever World Cup match, the opening game. And who do they draw? Spain, the reigning European champions, one of the favorites to win the entire tournament. Cape Verde, playing in their first World Cup game in history, held Spain to a 0-0 draw. 0-0. They didn't just lose respectably, they didn't lose at all. The footballing world stopped. A team of part-time underdogs had just shut out one of the greatest sides on earth. And here's where it goes from nice story to are you kidding me? Game 2, their opponent, Uruguay, 2-time world champions, a country that has won this whole tournament twice. Cape Verde went toe-to-toe with them, and with the clock ticking down, a man named Helio Varela scored to make it 2-2. Another draw against another giant in their second game ever. 2 matches, 2 of the biggest names in world football, and this little island is still unbeaten. And I want to tell you about one moment, because it's the kind of thing you can't script. On June 21st, a player named Pina struck the ball into the net and scored Cape Verde's first ever World Cup goal. The first in the entire history of the nation. Somewhere, 500,000 people lost their minds. For a country that small, this isn't sport. It's the whole nation holding its breath together. So here's where it stands right now. After 2 games, Cape Verde sit third in their group, unbeaten. And the data nerds, they give them almost a 70% chance of making it to the knockout rounds. Let that sink in. A country of 500,000 people, the third least populated nation at the entire tournament, is on the verge of reaching the World Cup's final 32. One more result, one more good day, and they make history that no nation their size has ever made. And maybe you're wondering, why does this hit so hard? Why are people who've never even heard of Cape Verde suddenly cheering for them? I think it's because deep down, we all want to believe the small guy has a chance. That you don't need to be the biggest or the richest or the most powerful to walk in and stun the giants. Cape Verde isn't supposed to be here. That's exactly why we can't look away. A handful of islands, 500,000 dreamers, a team the world had never heard of, now holding its own against champions. Their coach was right. They are small on the map, but on the football pitch in the summer of 2026, they look like absolute giants. So keep an eye on the Blue Sharks, because the smallest team at the World Cup might just have the biggest story of all.